Good evening, and welcome to the September 29th meeting of the Bloomington Planning Commission. The Planning Commission is made up of 7 volunteer Bloomington residents appointed by the City Council. The Commission advises the Council on development proposals, development standards, long-range planning, and transportation issues. Our work is informed by the City's comprehensive plan, various district plans, and the City Code. For some items, the Commission makes a recommendation to the City Council, or makes a recommendation with the City Council having final decision-making authorities. In other cases, the Planning Commission can approve or deny an application subject to an appeal to the City Council, and we have one item of that nature tonight. For each item, there will be a staff report, an opportunity for the applicant to present, then time for any member of the public to provide testimony. Our first order of business tonight is the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand as you are able. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Before we begin, I will ask Planning Manager Markegard to go over how folks can provide testimony remotely.
Chair Roman, commissioners, we're open here at the council chambers, and people can definitely provide testimony in person, but if they prefer, they can testify remotely. And to do so, you would call the number on the screen, enter in the access code, and then we'd be able to put you through live. We will have this number available throughout the public hearing tonight.
Thank you for that. The first item is a request for a conditional use permit for an indoor recreation and entertainment use as part of an existing restaurant. And we will begin with a staff report with Planner Rick Beil.
Great, thank you. Let me just get, I don't think that's right. Stop sharing. Let me just get, there's only one item, so I gotta get it right. Okay, great. Okay, great. Chair Roman, commissioners. Oh, how's that? Chair Roman, commissioners. Hello, I am bringing to you one item today, case number PL 2022-00166, which is a conditional use permit application for an indoor recreation and entertainment with a restaurant. And for a property that is located at 8301 Normandale Boulevard. The owner is Bloomington Real Estate Management, and the applicant is Premier Hospitality, and the applicant or the owner is in the meeting this evening. To give you some information about the site, I've provided, you have 8301 Normandale Boulevard, and that to the west, it is serviced by Normandale Service Road. And then to the west of that, there is Normandale Boulevard. And so Normandale Boulevard, just below the screen, it's a little off screen, is West 84th Street, which is considered a major municipal level road. And the site just to the north there is a multifamily residential building. And then to the south, there's a convenience store, which is zoned B4. And then there is an office building, or I believe it is a bank, that is slightly to the east, and that is zoned B4 as well. And then across the Normandales to the west, there's an office building, and that's zoned C4. So the building itself is about 12,000. There's a small typo on my slides. 12,000 square feet. And it is approved for 270 indoor seats with 78 seats, so a total of 348 seats. And the proposal is to turn about 200 or 2,600 square feet of that space into a gaming area. 3,100 square feet would remain for food and beverage service, and the remaining space would be dedicated to kitchen and common areas. So the games that the applicant is proposing include pinball, skee-ball, retro 80s games, billiards, darts, group games like Giant Jenga and Connect 4. There's no plans to expand on the number of seats in the facility, and nor are there plans to expand the outdoor seating area at this time. I've provided the floor plan or an image of the floor plan, and you can see that the games are interspersed throughout the indoor area. Recreational and entertainment use is conditionally allowed in the B4 district. The Planning Commission has final decision-making authority subject to appeal. And staff recommends approval of case 2022-166, subject to the conditions and code requirements listed within the resolution.
Thank you for that. Questions for staff? Commissioner Cookton.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Ms. Rickbile, in the staff report, it noted that the outdoor patio was legally non-conforming. Why is that, and does this application require them to make it a conforming patio?
Yes. So I believe that the restaurant was established before the ordinance required that outdoor patio use be conditional. Does that seem, Glenn, is there anything else you would add? Okay.
Yeah, Chair Roman, Commissioner Cookton, that's correct. This use was in existence prior to a conditional use permit being required, so it's legally non-conforming in that respect.
And does this application require them to get a conditional use permit for the patio or no?
Only if they were to expand the patio area, but they are keeping it as what it was approved at, 78 seats.
Very well.
Commissioner Goldsman.
Thanks, Chair. One question I had was around the staff report. Planner Pease had made a comment about paint of the building on the outside. I actually drove by on Tuesday and I saw that they were painting the building. So could you expand a little bit about some of the concerns that the city had around painting, and obviously it must have been resolved because the painting was in process, but I just wanted to know a little bit about painting of the facade.
Sure. Yes. So for exterior painting, the rule is generally that if it has been painted before, then we allow it to be painted. And so this building has gone through several iterations of paint on the exterior walls, and so that would be allowed in this case as well.
If I could follow up. Thank you. So it was previously painted. The question is was it legally painted in the past and now we just are continuing that maintenance, or is it something that they were allowed to paint because of the materials that were available? And I don't know if it will change the decision here. I just am curious.
May I defer?
Yeah, Chair Roman, Commissioner, oftentimes we don't know for sure if it was legally painted, if it's, 20, 30, 40 years old that the paint has been there. So I'm not sure that we would know in this case if it was legally or illegally painted.
Thank you.
Other questions for staff? Thank you for clarifying also the type of gaming, that it's more family gaming, because I know we use the word gaming broadly and sometimes just for the benefit of the public to know that this is not gambling of any type. This is family type games, if you will. Thank you for that. Would the applicant wish to speak at all on this item? Please come forward, introduce yourself, and when you're done or before, you could sign in on the sheet.
Okay, my name's Mike Tupa, and I'm going to be the owner of Full Tilt Tavern. And I wanted to touch on the paint. I was sitting there itching to make a comment. So I let Londell know in our first planning meeting that it was our intent to want to paint the building. He did some research and he found that the existing paint job was done legally. And then we went through a process of having Sherwin-Williams come out with the painter to basically provide guidance on the best approach, best paint, so it would adhere, not flake, prep process. And then we submitted that to Lundell. He passed it on to someone else, and then we got an approval. So, yep, that's how that came to be. And then just touching on the games, you're correct. In the gaming, we want a very broad grouping of games that can appeal to a lot of groups of people, not just adults. Obviously, families are going to be very important to us. I recognize that this area is very community-based. We're right in the middle of the Bloomington community, edge of it, but we've got an opportunity to be a place for people that have children to come and play pinball or play a virtual reality game or play an old retro game maybe that mom and dad played when they were a kid, play skee ball. I've got a 10-year-old and she loves that. She'll burn the entire card rolling the ball. So yeah, it's very important for us to have a nice balance in the gaming there as well. And then a good food program. Obviously, we want to have good food for people, elevated pub food. We're putting in a brand new hearth pizza oven in the kitchen, making our own dough, making our own sauce, elevated sandwiches. I've got a great executive chef, I think, that has helped me put together a fantastic menu that's going to be well received. And then a great beverage menu, too. So it's going to be an opportunity for people to play because this building is built in a way where there's these 3 outer areas, but then there's a whole center where people can get away from it, too, and just go for a dining experience. You certainly don't have to feel like, I got to go there to play games. You could go there just to watch a game, or you could go there for a business meeting, or you could go there for an office party. It'll be very diverse that way in its appeal.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Questions for the applicant? Thank you.
Okay.
This time we will open the public hearing. I do not see any members of the public wishing to provide testimony in the chambers. Do we have anyone online?
Chair Roman, everybody online is city staff members, so nobody to testify.
Great, thank you. Given that there's no one in person or online, I would entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second to close the public hearing. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion passes. The public hearing is closed. Discussion on the proposal. Commissioner Goldsman?
Thank you, Chair. I think this application is pretty straightforward. I am really excited to have a place that my family can enjoy. I mentioned this to my almost 9-year-old son last night, and he was very excited about the skee ball and the pinball machines. So I think it's going to be a great addition to the location, and I really appreciate the developer's approach to this awkward layout of the building and how to make it all usable as well. So I think it's going to be a great addition to the city of Bloomington. I'm excited to be supporting it today.
I will say I too am looking forward to this. I've, other than maybe Commissioner McGovern, I probably live closer to this location than my colleagues, and I've watched this restaurant struggle over the years. We used to go there ourselves more often than we have in recent years, and so I appreciate the creativity. I appreciate the idea of looking for something that doesn't already that's unique and that brings something to the community that is different than especially the restaurants that are immediately in that general area, which are less local in flavor, I guess I will say. So I too am in favor, and anyone else have anything to add? If not, I would entertain a motion. Commissioner Goldsman?
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to make a motion. All right, in case PL 2022-166, having been able to make the required findings, I move to adopt a resolution approving a conditional use permit for an indoor recreation and entertainment use located at 8301 Normandale Blvd, subject to the conditions and code requirements listed in the resolution.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second in front of us to adopt a conditional use permit for an indoor recreation and entertainment use at the subject property. Is there any further discussion on this motion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? This motion passes. This is a final decision by the commission unless an appeal is received by 4:30 p.m. on October 4th. Thank you. The next item on the agenda is to consider the approval of the draft Planning Commission meeting synopsis from August 18th. And I believe that all were in attendance except for me at that meeting. I would entertain a motion on that item. Commissioner Goldsmith.
I move to approve the draft Planning Commission meeting synopsis for August 18th of 2022.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there discussion on this item? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And I will abstain. That item passes. Item 3 is the Planning Commission policy and issue update. Planning Manager Markegard.
Chair Roman, Commissioners, looking forward to your next two meetings. Next meeting is October 13th, and we have 5 items on the agenda so far. We have a conditional use permit for a billiards facility at 8901 Penn Avenue South. It's actually one you've reviewed in the past that expired that will be coming back again. We have another conditional use permit application for a karate school at, I don't have the address here. And then we have 3 study meetings or study items to talk about future code amendments. We have the miscellaneous issues ordinance, overview, cottage park housing, discussion, and then a review of townhome standards. So that's your October 13th meeting. Looking a little farther out on October 27th, so far we have 3 items. We have a major revision to final development plans for a clubhouse expansion at the Hampshire Hill Apartments. And then secondly, city code amendments, so public hearing regarding expiration of final development plans. And then third, petition to rename Picture Drive in Bloomington. So that's what we have on October 27th. And then looking a little farther out, I found out this afternoon that there's opportunity on Tuesday, December 6th, for all of the commissions to meet with the mayor and the city manager. It's an evening meal or evening meeting with a light meal starting at 5:30 p.m. and then the meeting would run 6 to 8 p.m. And the idea would be that one representative from each of the advisory boards and commissions would attend that meeting. On the agenda would be a discussion about how the individual commission can tie into the Bloomington Tomorrow Together strategic plan, and to find out where there may be opportunities for alignment among the various advisory commissions and boards, and then just allowing some networking and ability to connect with other commissioners and the mayor and city manager. So the idea would be that each commission would appoint one individual to attend. So you can think about that, or if you prefer, you can do that tonight. Appoint somebody, but again, it would be Tuesday, December 6th in the evening.
Thank you. If it's okay with the rest of the commission, I would recommend that Planning Manager Mark Agard forward us the details about that event, and then we can have a discussion at our next meeting. It gives people time to check calendars, hear who might be interested, and figure out an approach, if that's acceptable.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Any other items that the commission would like to raise? No? Okay. Seeing none, then we are adjourned until October 13th.